Hey, I'm Bob Murray, and we're out at the Philadelphia Greater Sports Show, and I have one of the most interesting people that you're going to meet. Jay, you are the guy that runs the Hog Trough, and well, you and I've talked and stuff like that, and some of the questions that you've been asked over the years about the Hog Trough. First, let's tell our listeners what is a Hog Trough.
Hog trough is like a 40-foot aquarium that we actually pull around to these outdoor shows, and we give seminars off of it. And the pros are invited in to give seminars off of it to generate the crowd and just to give fishing tips to the general public.
And it's an amazing contraption you have back there. It's a big aquarium on wheels, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. I still laugh at it when people come up to you and say, "How come when's that water spill out once you're driving away?" Explain all that stuff.
A lot of people. One of the main questions I get about the hog trough is how do you pull this down the road without the water splashing off? Ain't you afraid of the glass breaking and all that stuff? But that's what I have. Is I have a 125-gallon box behind the cab of the pickup. And it's aerated, and once I lower the water level down far enough to be able to net them fish, and I'll put them fish in that box, and then I'll drain the tank completely, so I don't actually pull it with water in it.
Or fish.
Or fish, exactly, because it probably caused a few accidents, people running down the road looking at the aquarium. So,
Well, and it's a great promotional tool for
Yes, it is.
all your
Yes, it is.
manufacturers and on the pros and the,
Yes.
the expo centers and stuff, because it really,
Yes.
I mean, we were talking when I was the first time they came out, we were mesmerized, and you said as a little kid,
Yes.
you were mesmerized. Now look at you, you're on top of it
yeah,
now.
exactly. When I was a youngin', I mean, we used to come to these shows and I would stare up at that tank and think, man, that has got to be the coolest job. That's like a dream come true. Me being up there and actually be able to do seminars and speak to the public about fishing.
And then, but now there's the other side of that, and is that you have to travel an awful lot with that thing
Yes,
stuck
I
in the
do.
back of your truck. Just give us a quick idea of how you travel throughout on this circuit now that you're doing for
Okay,
sports shows.
I started out really this spring. I started down in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was tickled death. Being from Ohio, going to Atlanta, Georgia, I thought, well, I'm going to get some heat, go get some warm weather down there. Well, I happened to hit Atlanta, Georgia right when they had that big ice storm, and they have no idea what to do with all that ice. And But anyway, I come from there, and then I went to Worcester, Massachusetts, and then I came here to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this week. Now I'll leave from here, and I'll go to Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'll finish out the show out there for a week, and then I'll go from there to Suffern, New York.
So it's a lot. I mean, it looks glamorous, but the other part is it's a lot of work too.
Oh, yes. A lot of people say, man, this got to be the neatest job. Well, they're not in here at 3 o'clock in the morning when you come in late with that thing coming off the road that has a lot of salt on it, cleaning it up. So it's –
Well, actually, and you're right, because the other morning I came down there, and you're there before anybody gets in here. You're cleaning that because I know everybody comes put their hands on it and put their little kids especially.
Yeah, but that's cool. As long as little kids get involved,
Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot for that.
And that is because it really gets them into the fishing and see
Yes,
the
it
fish
does.
close up, how they react, and you guys, how you show them what's happening with the fish and why they're doing this and why they're doing that.
Yep.
One of the questions that everybody asked too was like, what do you do? Where do you get the fish? You don't bring them with you, and what do you do after the show? What do you do with them? So tell us all about that.
Okay, normally on most of the shows, the DNR, which is the Department of Natural Resources of that state, they normally bring us the fish in, and then after the show's over, then they come back in and get the fish. Well, I swung up through New Brennan, New York on the way from Ohio to Massachusetts, and I picked them up from Heckling's Fish Farm. And I took them to Massachusetts, and then like I said, they rode in the box from Massachusetts to here. Now, after we get done with them here, Jonathan, the promoter, he donated them fish to the Westchester Rod and Gun Club. It's a park that's got a pond that they do fishing derbies for kids twice a year, bass derbies for kids.
Okay.
So they're going to good use, and
So they'll come. The Department of Resources will come pick them up from you, and they'll take them over there and then
Yes,
put
sir.
them in the water and stuff like that.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's really good. So you get the use of it here, and then the kids get the
Yes.
use of it there.
Yes.
Now, one thing, you have to have permits, so this isn't like just willy-nilly, right?
Right, you have to have permits and you have to have health papers and stuff to make sure that these fish are healthy because, me being an avid angler, I know all the aspects of invasive species and all that stuff. So So I'm very careful as far as that goes. I make sure I have all my paper records, and I wouldn't want to bring an infected fish into another state myself,
Right.
just for the simple fact for the love of the sport. But yeah, we have all the papers in line and all that stuff, and they was okay with that. I talked with the commissioner, and he was super with that. So.
Oh, that's really. I'm really glad to see that. I mean, it goes to a good cause, and it helps you out too because.
Yes, yeah. What am I going to do with 50 bass?
Hey, it is really interesting, especially with the kids, to look at that kind of stuff. But also on the other side, you are a tournament angler.
Yes, sir, I am. I get to do this through the winter, as far as pull this tank around and give seminars, and I get to speak with all the other pros. Of course, we see them on the road anyway in the summer. So in the summertime, which I've already fished at one tournament down in Lake Toho in January, and so I fished the Southern BASS Opens and the Northern BASS Opens, so I'll be on the road probably clear up into November.
And then you go right back to?
Then go right back to pulling the tank, yes, sir. But it keeps me in the fishing industry, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a sport that I love to do, and it's something I dreamed about doing since I was this little kid, and it's like now I'm doing it, and I love it. I love it.
And one other thing, though, because you meet everybody, all the pros and all that, you said out in the audience, you're learning stuff from them
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat because some of the pros kind of give up some of their secrets that because a lot of these people that we talk to, we don't actually fish against. So a lot of the pros are giving up their secrets up there that I get to listen in on, and that's a cool deal in itself right there.
Well, look, you want to come out to the show? The Hog Trough's going to be there. You're going to do some seminars today.
Yes, sir.
I know Pete Glusik's going to do some stuff and other people. So if you want to bring the kids out and have a good seminar, it's nice seating. You sit down there and you
Yes,
get
it
that
is.
big 40,000-gallon aquarium sitting in front of you and watching pros. Come on out to the show. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.